On the screen here is account number 500 on Mffu Futures. I will edit in the screenshot for that. But essentially, what this video is going to do is just a recap. What's gone well, what hasn't gone well, what I wish I could tell myself back then, even though some of that I already knew, I just didn't really trust the process. The overall takeaway of this video, and I'll try to keep this short, is slow is smooth, smooth is fast, less is more in trading, always. For many of you out there, if you stick with it, you will get it. It's not a matter of if you're capable. I know people that are hardworking. I know people that are lazy. I know people that are smart. I know people that are not as smart, and they all make money. Okay, it's not trading is not an intelligence game. You don't get paid to be intelligent. Okay, you get paid to execute at the right time in the right direction and close that trade at the right time. That's what you get paid to do. A lot of what you get paid to do is wait and not take trades. A lot of what you get paid to do is prior to entering the market. You have to be ready, you have to study, all that stuff. Okay. I've gotten a lot of payouts in my career. Probably 250 to 300,000, somewhere around there. It might be a little bit more. I don't know. It's around there. It's 250 to 300. And I've spent a lot on prop firms. I've spent a lot on prop firm accounts. A lot of that did not need to be spent. A lot of that was trying to force evaluation passes. A lot of that was blowing accounts that were payout ready and then immediately buying evaluations to revenge trade on those and to try and get something back for the day. So the things that I wish I could tell myself is that this is a process, and the best thing to do, what you're trying to do, is get to where you either don't blow accounts or you're consistently taking very, very large trades and getting plenty of payouts, right? Like payouts is the goal. Yeah, it's cool to bottom tick and top tick, and it's cool to have a zero loss rate or whatever, have a 90% win rate on an account. That's cool and all. But it's really how much are you putting in the bank at the end of the day? Because prop firms are just a stepping stone. It's not the final result. You want to eventually have portfolios that you really like either can manage lightly or don't have to manage, or you want to be putting this into businesses or, whatever, or a personal account if you want to go that route. But the goal is not to, live and breathe prop firms. This is just a stepping stone. This is a great tool to learn. You have tons of options right now to choose from, ranging from $30 for an evaluation, all the way up to much more if you want more size. You can take $1,000 payouts, $5,000 payouts. It's all there. If you can do it, it's all there. The money is all there, and it's not going anywhere. There's no rush. I wish I could go back and tell myself, dude, like the way that you're learning, you're going to get it in 2 years. So you don't have to load up evaluations on a credit card. You don't have to force a trade today, whatever the day before CPI, like just enjoy your life, but I've always struggled with that, to be more present. And that's gotten easier as I've gotten older and as I've gotten more bored with trading, honestly, where I treat it more just like a job. I take my trades. I don't sit around and try to go for more, as you can see here. I take my trades. I just execute. I don't get hung up on, I've blown so many accounts. I don't get hung up on losing trades. I don't get hung up on winning trades. They're just trades. The day goes on, the market day ends, the dashboard updates. It is what it is. So for those of you out there who are struggling, in my Discord, I did a poll that asked how many payouts that we've had this year. And majority are currently 0. There's a couple, not everyone's answered the poll, to be fair. There's a couple sitting between 1 to 10, and then there's me and one other at 10 plus. I don't know who's who. It doesn't matter. I was just curious. Um, and that's okay. I'm also going to do another poll about if we've passed accounts, because that's the first step. That's probably step number one. And then if it's zero, then we'll go even further. Have we won any trades? No, I'm just kidding. Everyone's won trades, and that's the thing. Everyone can win trades. Not everyone can close the computer. Not everyone can retain it. Not everyone can execute the same model every day. So going forward, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff and putting up a lot of content about how to develop your habits better in regards to this, in regards to trading and prop firm account management. Obviously, it would be wonderful if everyone ate great food, drank enough water, slept well, went to the gym. That all is going to help. Reading, staying off your phone, not doom scrolling, all these things. These are things that help in your personal life. You don't need them necessarily to be profitable, but they do help. Every little bit helps. And if you want to do this, you kind of got to be a little bit psychotic, in the sense that you don't really get to live a normal life, especially when you're learning. Unless you're really, really healthy, you might have to address some stuff. And that's where you just have to decide if it's worth it for you. I had a lot of psychological burdens to work through as I was learning, and that is obviously a part of why I blew so many accounts. I had a perfectionist mindset where, even on my great weeks, great months, even when I wasn't even making a lot of money, I was always trying to end every day green in some manner. And I felt like if I couldn't, then, that was on me. I needed to improve. And what that did was two things. That hindered my profits greatly, and it caused a lot of stress because I was constantly trying to sit there and make the money. And, you blow the account, whatever, even if it's close to a payout or something, or close to passing, and then you have to do it again. So it's a lot of mental capital lost in that endeavor. The other thing that it did was it did make me a better trader, because I have watched that 1 minute chart for years at this point, and I've seen it move in every single session all the time. I really am in tune with the market. So it did help in that way. It was very much so beating my head against the wall for much longer than I had to. Beating my head against the wall, trying to get it, because I had what I would call a double-edged sword, a blessing and a curse of a situation where, I didn't really have a lot going at the time in terms of career. I was doing restaurant jobs and stuff, which I didn't enjoy. I had tried a lot of various industries and stuff, didn't enjoy them. I always wanted to be my own boss. I always wanted something that could make more money and obviously be less hours was the main thing. So for me, especially once I had started to lose money with this at the beginning, and once I had accepted that ICT worked and I was the problem, then that really opened the door for, okay, I just can't quit this. Like, whatever it takes to figure out what the hell is wrong with me and why I am getting in the way of my profits, I set out to do that. And so, I just stuck with it. I stuck with it and stuck with it. And I hope that many of you watching this don't have to do as many accounts as I did. I really don't, but I hope you can get to the results, even if it takes, 500 less tries than I had, or if it takes 500 more. Like, it takes what it takes. I have one friend who started trading recently, around November, December. He's been doing very well. He's a very healthy man, and he's very healthy with the risk. That's something that he came into that with that understanding. He's been doing very well. And I've seen that with other people. I've seen people struggle for longer than me, where they don't get the concepts that they're trying to learn, and maybe they have the psychology down. Anyway, you need to be very aware. What I'm trying to say, you need to be very aware of what your problems are and what your struggles are. And that is why journaling is so important. And journaling is not just, I took a trade, 5 minute FEG, it was bullish, I got it right or I got it wrong, whatever. No, you need to really, really be honest with yourself about, everything, how you felt before, how you felt in the middle, how you felt after. Um, I really wouldn't advise celebrating your wins or condemning your losses. I mean, if you look at a profitable algorithm or a trading bot, it takes losses. It doesn't think anything of them because you can't just isolate out the losses. You need to take all the trades in order to have that bot be profitable. So, that's all part of it. Don't sweat the losses, especially when you're new. Easier said than done, of course. But if you want to, a good tip for overtrading is if you want to trade, go on to paper and just trust that you are getting more reps in, you are getting more practice by doing that, and you don't need to make it on your evaluation on your sim funded account. You don't need to lose it on your evaluation on your sim funded account. Always be hyper focused on exactly what you're doing. You are only worried about the market when you're trading these accounts. Okay. So I'll post a bank statement here for my month. I do have prop firm account fees. I don't know exactly how much that is this month. It's obviously less than I made. I couldn't isolate out these two Gemini withdrawals, which are just crypto sales and moving them back into my bank account, as I've been doing some traveling. But as you can see here, the total payouts for the month are coming out to 18 to 20,000. I do have a Top Step one on the way as well. Let me just pull that up actually. Here we go. We do have 2415 being added to that. It just got sent today. And that account is also very healthy. Here we go. Should probably cover that, but that's okay. Point is, guys, I was always imagining if I could make $5,000 a month or even $3,000 a month. That's what I started with. I want to just cover my bills, 2 to 3,000, right? I didn't see, 2 years ago that I could be making $20,000 in a month, and I could be making way more if I really wanted to push it, if I was really locked in, if I was really copy trading. The thing is, it's human error most of what we do. So at the end of the day, just trust that you are building properly. If you are building properly, if you're not building properly, that's where you need to start, is showing up every day, being ready, taking your trades properly with proper execution. If you're ready, if you're not ready for evaluations or funded, you need to go on paper. And there's no shame in that. You're just going to save money. You're just going to save time and money. That's all you're going to do. Okay. So there's no rush, because the 20K months, the 50K months, the 100K months, they're all there. Okay. They're all there for me as much as they're there for you. You have to get comfortable with winning. You have to get comfortable with losing. You have to get comfortable with life as a trader. It is not, it is not like other jobs. It would be most closely relatable to maybe sales, but it just doesn't really compare to anything. It's when you make mistakes, you lose money directly, and that's something that you just have to grow accustomed to, because it is not a normal life. Okay, you have to want this. You have to want this more than more than anything else, really, and then it will come, and stick with it. But that's really the main takeaway. Is I wish I could have told myself back then, there's no rush. Be happy with your 2K months. Be happy with your 5K months. My first 20K month was last July. I think it was like 25 or 26,000. Probably minus fees. It was probably 22,000 or something. Um, Felt great. And then I don't remember what I made the next month, but I think it was around 10. And I've had maybe 5 or 6. No, I don't know. Four to six $20,000 months. Um, it uh, it really doesn't happen by taking giant trades for me. I mean, I know you're probably looking at that 4,800 thinking, well, that's a pretty big trade for me. I agree, but what I'm saying is I just do the payouts. Once I have profits in the account, I just do the payouts. And if you're doing that on 2 accounts, if you're doing that on 5 accounts, 7 accounts, it really, really adds up. As you can see on the screenshot, most of the payouts are under 3,000. I'm not looking at it right now. All the payouts might be under 3,000. You don't need $10,000 withdrawals to have a $20,000 month. I mean, you just need to be consistent. You need to be striving for consistency, and that will pay the bills, and that will breed confidence. And when you have confidence, and when you have savings, and when you enjoy your life, it is much easier to execute. Okay. So I hope this helps somebody. If you have any questions, please let me know. We do giveaways in the Discord server. The link is in the YouTube. We're doing 5 25K Lucid Flex accounts on, I think, the following Friday from this one. And we've been doing 10 Lucid Flexes every single month. Definitely take advantage, because giveaways is how I got started, and